to the ProtoArt. I have some free Photoshop actions for you. All you have to do is go to my website, goldcoastaudio.com, and under this little tab here, you can download those for free. Once you have it downloaded, just double-click this action, and it will load into Photoshop. Now diving right into Photoshop, you have it loaded into your Actions tab. If you don't have this open, just go to Window, Actions, and toggle that on. And once you have it selected, there's 3 different actions you can choose from. There's a pencil action that'll make an image look like this. There's a threshold action that will make your image look like this. And there's also an oil paint action that will turn your photo from this to this. So all these actions are smart actions, meaning they don't need to have anything specific. There's some that you can download online that require specific naming, either something called brush or area, etc. This doesn't require that. Also, you don't necessarily need to have these in a specific order for these to run properly. I'm just going to run it off the background image itself. First, I'm going to run the manga action. So if you're trying to get into creating your own comics, this is a great way to get started. Choose the background layer, and under the manga option, just hit play. So now your action is done. With the smart action, you can go back in and change some settings around. Double-click threshold, and you can adjust the slider to how much you want this to apply. You can also do this with the unsharpened mask. I'd recommend making duplicates of this layer and adjusting each slider to kind of get different variations of the image. So maybe you want some of the lighter elements under another one of your layers. I'm going to toggle that on. I'm going to adjust the threshold on this to get some of the darker elements. And under my third layer, again, I'm going to adjust the slider. And then from here, you can play around with different blending. I would create a mask by selecting that top layer and clicking the mask icon. And with the brush selected, you can blend between the different layers to get different elements to highlight or be hidden. And this is a great way to kind of create different variations of your image itself. So I don't like that sky, so I'll paint that away. And you can see within seconds, you can really create something really interesting and unique. And again, if you're having trouble creating like really detailed backgrounds, this is a quick way to do it. So for the example I showed earlier, I used the oil paint look. Select the layer you want. You hit play, and depending on your computer's processing, this can take a little bit, but essentially this applies an oil paint look. Now Photoshop does have a filter built into it that will create an oil paint look itself, but if you're running an older version, this is a way to get around that. So you can also run one of the different actions on here just to kind of see what it will do. Again, the oil paint look, I like using those for portraits and stuff myself. But you can also run any one of these other actions as well. I'll run the manga action so you can kind of see what it looks like. So you can play around with the threshold on here and create something kind of interesting as well. And again, there's numerous ways you can go about doing this. I'll make a duplicate and play around with the slider on here. And maybe I'll increase this a bit, and then you can blend between these two. So I'll throw a mask on. I'll hide that layer. And again, with the brush, I'll paint some of it back in. But with this, you can create some really interesting looks and designs as well. Perhaps you want to make a stencil. This is another quick way to go about doing that. Anyway, guys, hopefully this was helpful, and you can use this in your own creations. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tag me in any interesting stuff that you create with my actions. Talk to you soon.